Jimmy Kimmel has managed to offend just about everyone, ranging from presidents to entire countries. Yet he's still a force on late night television despite it. This is every Jimmy Kimmel controversy and how he survived them. Before Jimmy Kimmel was a late night host, he co-created a comedy show called The Man Show, which consisted of edgy frat bro style humor. Jimmy famously performed a skit where he impersonated the NBA player Karl Malone, while in blackface.
He started thinking about things like dropping down dead. People always asking Karl Malone, is there life after death? Well, Karl Malone don't know. Some folk believe you're going to heaven or to hell.
But contrary to popular belief, this wasn't the only time he did this.
15 minutes a day is all you need to get your heart rate up to where...
Please, Miss Sopra, you're crashing my... Sorry, Miss Sopra.
Oh, how times have changed. Kimmel became a victim of his own political party when these sketches resurfaced in 2020, prompting backlash and accusations of racism. Kimmel later apologized, stating the impressions were meant to imitate the individuals rather than mock them. But this wasn't the only controversial thing he did on The Man Show. Kimmel also participated in a skit where women were encouraged to touch his crotch to try and guess what was in his pants.
To then guess what is in my pants. You should use two hands. Two hands. You've done this before, haven't you? Maybe it would be easier if you put your mouth on it.
Years later, the segment was criticized for promoting inappropriate behavior towards women. But his next controversy pissed off an entire country. In 2013, Jimmy Kimmel Live aired a segment called Kids Table, where kids were asked their opinions on how to handle difficult political situations. One such question was about solving the US national debt, which provoked this response.
Question. America owes China a lot of money, $1.3 trillion. How should we pay them back?
Shoot cannons all the way over and kill everyone in China.
Kill everyone in China?
Yes.
Okay, that's an interesting idea. Yes.
The broadcast led to nationwide protests from the Chinese American community, with demonstrators demanding an apology. Kimmel personally apologized on air, acknowledging the offense caused by the segment. But this type of reaction isn't entirely new to Kimmel. In 2004, he made a joke about Detroit that was deemed insensitive. He claimed that if the Detroit Pistons won the NBA championship, the fans would, quote, burn the city of Detroit down and it's not worth it. This was relating to the history of Detroit fans who rioted after sports victories. For example, in 1990, following the Pistons' NBA championship win, Detroit locals looted and rioted in the streets. This caused the injuries and deaths of many people. Soon after his comments, Jimmy Kimmel Live was pulled from ABC stations, resulting in a week-long suspension, and he later apologized.
The stupid joke I said at the spur of the moment, I apologize for making it, and I blame my parents for raising me poorly. I really do.
The Detroit Pistons did in fact win that year, and to everyone's surprise, they didn't destroy the city. However, something that was later destroyed was Kimmel's reputation after his interaction with Megan Fox. An old 2009 interview between her and Jimmy Kimmel resurfaced, where Fox described being sexualized by director Michael Bay when she was underage. Kimmel repeatedly made crude jokes about Fox and her appearance.
Said, you know, Michael, she's 15, so you can't sit her at the bar and she can't have a drink in her hand. So his solution to that problem was to then have me dancing underneath a waterfall getting soaking wet. And that's...
Perfectly wholesome?
At 15, I was in 10th grade. So that's sort of a microcosm of how Bay's mind works.
Well, that's really a microcosm of how all our minds works, but some of us have the decency to repress those thoughts and pretend that they don't exist.
Right.
This sparked renewed criticisms years later amid the Me Too movement. Fox provided a statement on this interview where she said, quote, "That was a microcosm of my whole life and whole interaction with Hollywood. It was just very dark." Another person who has fallen victim to Kimmel is the President of the United States. Now, if I included every time Jimmy Kimmel had a controversy with Trump, this video would be about 5 hours long. But to keep it short and sweet, ever since Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign, Kimmel has frequently criticized him and his administration on his show. In a study conducted recently, it claims that Jimmy Kimmel has made over 3,000 jokes about Trump. It is also said that 97% of his guests are liberal, and 92% of his jokes were targeted at conservatives. As far as actual viral controversial moments on his show about Trump, Jimmy Kimmel's reaction over his 2024 political victory certainly takes the top spot.
It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth.
Oh brother. It is believed that his repetitive commentary of Trump has affected his audience massively, resulting in a 29% drop in viewership over a 10-year period between 2015 and 2025. But something that would threaten Kimmel's TV presence more was the Epstein accusations. In January 2024, NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers suggested on the Pat McAfee show that several celebrities, including Jimmy Kimmel, might be named in unreleased Jeffrey Epstein court documents.
A lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't happen.
Kimmel publicly denied any connection and threatened legal action against Rodgers for defamation.
I suggested that if Aaron wanted to make false and very damaging statements like that we should do it in court.
Rodgers later clarified that he did not accuse Kimmel directly, but maintained his skepticism about public figures' involvement.
So I'm glad, and I think we can agree on something, is that one, those crimes are heinous, and two, I'm glad you're on the list because those who are on the list, and this is what I think we can agree on, that at minimum, there should be an inquiry into their involvement.
As of now, Kimmel's name has not been included in any Epstein-related lists. However, his name was found on the hit list of the FCC after his comments about Charlie Kirk. After Charlie Kirk was assassinated in September 2025, Jimmy Kimmel addressed the tragedy in a monologue by saying the quote, MAGA gang was desperately trying to characterize this kid as anything other than one of them, and is trying to score political points from it. The statements were viewed to be ill-timed, misleading, and intentionally causing more divide in the country. His comments triggered intense backlash and several ABC affiliate groups to withdraw the show from the air. In response, ABC suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely. However, his suspension didn't last long, and Jimmy Kimmel later returned to millions of viewers, where he showed remorse for the family of Charlie Kirk.
That it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't...
Okay, that's it for this video. Like and subscribe and watch someone else now.